There we go. Please. Okay, good. Okay, good. Whew. Whew, that was scary. Okay. Here we go. Whew. Let's see this. This is supposed to be an hour long, by the way, everybody. So is this going to be... Oh, this is the Nintendo Direct. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. Oh my gosh. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Whew. The volume should be good. I've done a lot of testing based on the volume levels of the previous Nintendo Direct from last week. Right, right. Mario Kart 8. Nice. What's gonna make this different? I heard it up to like more than 8, the traditional 8 racers possibly. Let's see if we can spot. Donkey Kong looks like pre-1994 Donkey Kong from what little we saw before. Oh yeah, the designs look a little cartoonier, such as it were. They look a little more Super Nintendo era. Nice. Hey, Waluigi confirmed. Wait, was that a stage based on Super Mario Land? Oh, you could play as the Moo Moo cow? Aw. Hammer. Oh, real-time costume change? Okay. Was that Mario's outfit from 3D Hot Rally? Mario Kart World. We're finally breaking away from the numbered conventions.
Hello everyone, I'm Koichi Kawamoto, and I'll be one of your guides for today's Nintendo Direct. I'm the producer for Nintendo Switch 2.
I'm Takuhiro Dota, the director.
Just messing with my glasses a bit.
And I'm Tetsuya Sasaki, the hardware design lead for Nintendo Switch 2.
What you just saw was Mario Kart World, launching exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2. Now, what do you think this brand new Mario Kart game will be like?
Looks like contiguous tracks in some way.
A brand new entry in the Mario Kart series is launching exclusively on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. Welcome to this vast world.
Open
Kart
world
races are
Mario
held throughout
Kart.
various regions that span the globe. Depending on the time of day and weather conditions, the atmosphere will change.
Huh.
And in this Mario Kart game, you can go off the racetrack and drive virtually everywhere in this world.
Huh.
In the classic Grand Prix, race through 4 courses in a bid for first place.
Oh, so these are going to be point A to
Don't
point
sleep
B
at the wheel.
courses.
You'll
Kind
also
of.
drive to the next course as part of the competition. With
Huh.
24 drivers in each race, the most in series history, the competition is gearing up.
Point A to point B races. We had a few tracks like that in the history of Mario Kart.
Introducing Knockout Tour. Race non-stop from one corner of the world to another.
I mean, Mario Kart 8 was like
There
the
are
ultimate
multiple checkpoints
expression
along the way.
of traditional Mario Kart,
If
so
you're below
I'm
the
glad they're
points list
shaking it
shown
up
when
like
you hit
this.
a checkpoint, you'll be eliminated. Can you make it all the way to the finish line?
Yay, Battle Royale. That isn't just,
You
like,
can also
battle
freely drive
mode.
around this vast world in free roam.
Huh.
By going off-road, you can explore new areas and routes.
Like, honestly, like, this is almost what I'd expect. This sort of vast world, this is almost what I'd expect of the alleged epic 3D Mario project.
And even take photos together at different locations.
Yeah, just exploring this world alone looks like a whole ton of fun. And they've got to sell this console to me, because if I can only play games on Nintendo Switch for the rest of my life, I'd never get bored. So they really have to sell me a new system.
The game launches on the same day
Nice.
as Nintendo Switch 2.
And it's worded so that if
More details
that
about this
changes.
title will be shared in an upcoming Mario Kart World Direct.
So if that, I like how they worded it so that if the dates change, they don't have to refilm the audio. Smart.
Mario Kart World launches on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2.
It's funny, we heard about a game before this more about the system itself, which is almost as it should be, in a sense.
Next, we'd like to introduce some of the new features of Nintendo Switch 2. These are the Joy-Con 2 controllers for Switch 2.
Joy-Con boys. Rip Etika.
And on the right Joy-Con 2, we've added a new C button. Let's take a look at some new experiences.
Alright, let's see what it does. There's been a weird amount of secrecy about that button, so let's see what it does.
I'm still ahead of all of you guys. Woo! That was me. That was you? So quick. Oh, no.
What? Actual voice chat?
No.
Nix, I'm coming for you.
No, I'm about to get
Come on, no.
Is there a massive delay on this?
Introducing Game Chat, a new feature for Nintendo Switch 2.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hi, missed you.
With this feature,
I'm gonna.
you'll be able to communicate with...
Should we follow you? Yeah?
Yeah, follow me.
Wow, actual game chat. Actual. This
While
is.
using the Game Chat feature, your voice is recognized by a microphone built into the system.
Oh, okay. But you're still behind me, right?
It's incredible that.
Okay.
It can pick up your speaking
Yay,
voice
like,
clearly,
welcome to, like,
even from a
2005 on
Jump
every
on
other
here.
system. Says my
Let's
sardonic
make a left right here. Let's make a
When it's
cartoon
noisy
dog
around
ass.
you, your voice will still come through clearly, letting you chat with ease.
How did you get hit by a boat?
I don't know if that aspect is on the other system's voice chat
Okay.
options or
And you can use this
functions.
feature in handheld mode too, letting you easily chat with friends and family. If you open the chat menu and turn on game screen sharing,
Good job. There we go.
you can also share your game screen.
Did you see someone just like, go
Yeah,
on top
so
of
I don't know if these features are on the other systems. 'Cause I don't have Xbox or I haven't had Xbox or PlayStation for several generations, so I can't speak to what features they may have. But I know they're definitely more advanced than Nintendo's in terms of everything I've heard from people who have all the systems.
Okay. You can chat to your heart's content.
Oh, so you don't even have to be playing the same game.
Yeah, I know that one. It's so hard, right? It's tough.
Oh, wow. I'm like in the sky right here.
So it works with Nintendo Switch games too. That's cool.
Kirby, look, you're on a star. That's so cute. So cute.
This is
You
one of
can
those
adjust the
things
size of your
that
game screen.
in like the Wii U era, Nintendo would have like gone down in flames before they considered putting it on their system.
Or expand another friend's game screen.
You gotta get above that wall that's to your left.
So I'm guessing C is for
It's just
communication.
Like if she gets past the wall.
This is where I have to do a little wall ride.
Okay.
So everyone can watch them play.
That's cool.
I think I know where you are.
Is that the new Pro controller that person has? I noticed it before. I didn't really comment on it. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Why does he have a third-party controller? And I'm like, oh wait, that might be the new Pro controller.
Oh, yo, that's sick.
I like your pose, Meeks.
On the right Joy-Con 2 controller, there's an additional button. With the C button, you can pull up a chat menu.
Wait,
Oh, really?
isn't that
Actually, guys, I gotta
part
go.
where saying there's a new button you can pull up the chat menu? Isn't that, shouldn't they have started off with that?
Here, you can quickly and easily mute yourself and more.
Oh, the
there's
Switch 2
this.
camera.
By connecting this camera to the system,
Hey.
Yeah, this is not a...
Hey, what's up? Hello.
Yeah.
Yo.
They were sort of hinting at this with some of the Wii U gamepad
You
features,
on screen.
but it was
And
totally
video chat while
divorced
playing
from
the game.
actual gameplay experience, so its utility was limited at best.
No.
Here's how it looks with just the camera feed.
There you go. I bet you like that.
Can you wait for me?
Please look forward to games which use your camera feed like this.
Oh, okay. No, wait.
That looks good.
Go
That
left,
looks
go
good.
left.
Oh, wait,
Let you
if I
fix
go a
it.
little more this way. Oh.
Okay, and before, you know,
Using
people
game chat.
having like a third monitor,
Even
like
when you're
another
alone,
monitor
you
set
can
up and
play
have the
games
camera
and
aimed at
hang out
that,
as if
like
you
when
were together in
VTubers
the
want to
same
use this
room.
feature.
Play together or compete in online multiplayer games. Chat while playing your personal favorites. Decide your own rules for a retro game competition. Or hold a sports competition between families. All
This is
together, anytime,
Definitely pretty
anywhere.
ambitious as far as
Game chat.
Nintendo online gaming communication
What
goes.
did you think? In developing Game Chat, our goal was for you to enjoy playing online with others more
Because they
closely,
had
including family and friends. Almost as
they
if you're all
had
playing
Swap
together
Note
in
on
the same
3DS, and they retracted that because one person used it to contact a
you saw in the
kid,
trailer
where
is
that
the
they
Nintendo
initially
Switch 2
contacted
camera,
off of Nintendo 3DS
which will be
entirely
available on the
for
same day
inappropriate
as
and
Switch
sad
2.
reasons. So
A Nintendo Switch
yeah,
online
it's
membership will
that's a
be
given
required
at this
to use
point,
Game Chat.
sadly. But okay, fine.
However, since we'd like as many people as possible to experience Game Chat, it will be
Oh.
available without a membership for a limited
Interesting.
time. We hope you'll try it out. Additionally,
Well,
Game Chat supports
Bill,
the Nintendo Switch parental controls app. and different
Mr.
settings can be
Iwata is no
adjusted.
longer the
For
president of
example, whether
Nintendo.
parental permission
That's,
is
I
always
think,
required when a
if
child wants to
Mr.
use Game Chat
Iwata
to
was
play with their
around,
friends.
I don't think we'd see this feature in this form.
We'd like to introduce another new experience you can share with family and friends.
That's a cool suit.
On Nintendo Switch, even if you just have one game, you can pass a Joy-Con controller to a friend and play together. But on
Alright.
Nintendo Switch 2, you can play together locally on multiple systems using just one game, with Game Share. As shown
Well,
here,
I don't have
even
any,
games
like,
that require
friends, so
multiple screens
I was
can be
not
played
aware
if
that this
one
was
person
not a
owns
feature
compatible game.
on Nintendo Switch.
Game Share, you can temporarily share compatible games with others who also have Nintendo
I just,
Switch
because
2
it was on
or a
DS and
Nintendo
3DS,
Switch
I just
system.
assumed that this
You
was a
can
thing
share
on
game
Switch.
with up to 3 other systems at a time.
And it seems like it even
Game
works
Share
with
also
Wii
supports
games?
online
I mean,
play
with
other
Switch
Switch
1
2
games?
systems. And you can use it with friends via Game Chat, which we showed
And
earlier.
Swap Note was annoying to me because there was no on-screen keyboard. I have an actual motor disability where handwriting is sloppy and painful and slow at best, so using that for meaningful communications without an on-screen keyboard, which they deliberately left out.
To Nintendo Switch 2, so we
Also
hope
plan
you'll
for
look
select
forward to
games exclusive to Switch 2.
Up next,
Trying to maintain that
we'd
balance
like to show you the Nintendo Switch 2 system itself.
between commentary and listening. So,
Please take a look.
bigger
At
screen.
7.9 inches,
To me,
Switch 2 has a bigger built-in screen.
it's nice that it's a bigger
Here's how
screen,
that
but it's less
compares
portable.
To Nintendo Switch.
That's the
The
payoff.
system's thickness remains the same. With approximately double the pixels compared to Switch, you can enjoy games in great
Wow, they
detail
actually
on
just
the
said
1080p
Switch and not
screen.
Nintendo Switch. That's very rare for Nintendo's to do in official communications.
The screen supports up to 120 frames per second, allowing for smoother gameplay in supported titles.
It's weird seeing Nintendo care about
The LCD
all this
screen
technical
is more
type
vivid
stuff.
and supports HDR, providing more contrast between light and dark areas of the images. The all-new Joy-Con 2 controllers connect magnetically. Strong magnets keep the controllers firmly attached to the system. Detach a controller easily by pressing the release button on the back.
Oh, that's how they do it.
The SL and SR buttons are bigger for greater comfort.
Yeah,
and
there's
control
you also
when playing
you
with the
all saw
Joy-Con
that
2
little
held
sensor we've been
horizontally.
hearing all about. Finally
The
get the
left and
features
right
related to
sticks
that
are now
confirmed. Yep, they even call it mouse controls.
Each Joy-Con 2 controller can be used as a mouse to play with compatible games. Both the left and right Joy-Con 2 support mouse controls.
WarioWare confirmed, pretty much.
By adjusting the audio balance between the ranges, sounds from the built-in speakers are clearer and more natural in handheld and tabletop modes.
That's interesting.
It has a built-in microphone, so you can voice chat with friends anytime via game chat. It also uses noise-canceling technology to filter sounds, so your voice will come through clearly.
3D audio.
Even if you don't have a surround sound system, games can be enjoyed with more immersive, three-dimensional sound, as if it were coming from all around you.
This is the most technical detail and performance-related system reveal I've seen, possibly since the GameCube.
Place your Nintendo Switch 2 however you like with a large, sturdy stand. You can move it freely, like this.
Yeah, I've actually had situations where would have liked it to be nearly flat, but not quite.
In addition to the USB-C port found on the bottom of the system, there's one on top as well. It's handy for connecting a USB-C camera or charging in tabletop mode.
Much more versatile from that alone.
Nintendo Switch 2 comes with 256 gigabytes of internal storage, 8 times that of Nintendo Switch, for storing your game downloads,
should not be visible.
save data, and more. Reading and writing data is also faster. Use the Nintendo Switch 2 dock to connect to your TV and enable up to 4K resolution for compatible games.
All right.
HDR is also supported in TV mode.
Cool.
The Nintendo Switch 2 dock has a built-in fan that keeps your system cool.
Wow, so the fan actually has additional cooling this time. It doesn't just hold the system.
On Nintendo Switch 2, you can play Nintendo Switch 2 games, as well as compatible Nintendo Switch games. Physical and digital games are supported.
And that virtual game card thing we learned about recently. There's the Joy-Con grip too. Or whatever they decide to call it.
As you just saw, Nintendo Switch 2 isn't simply an improved Nintendo Switch. We redesigned the system from the ground up and packed in lots of new gameplay features. And to help players better understand the Switch 2 hardware, we're currently developing this game.
Oh, here we go. The Wii Sports
Hello.
Nintendo 1-2
My current
Switch.
location is actually inside the game itself.
Oh.
This is Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2.
Is this the Astros Playland of Switch 2?
I'm standing over here. Okay, everyone, join me inside the game. There are a lot of question mark icons here. Let's examine them. This sign reads, "Where are the magnets?" The Joy-Con 2 controllers attach to the system with magnets. And those magnets are inside the system. The SL and SR buttons on the Joy-Con 2 are made of metal, so that's how they attach to the system.
Oh, that's clever.
A magnetic circuit is formed between them, so they won't easily detach. Through examining signs like these, you can discover all sorts of secrets about Nintendo Switch 2. Another example, the Joy-Con 2 controllers have mouse controls. And when combined with the
Okay, here we go,
gyroscopes,
actually
you
using
can even do something
gameplay.
like this.
Even for demonstration
You
purposes.
can adjust the position of the golf club and aim for the cup by rotating the Joy-Con 2.
It's funny, we've had
By combining the mouse
mice on
controls and
PCs for
gyroscopes, things
decades
like
and
this are
decades.
possible.
So the fact
There
that
are secrets to
Nintendo
discover, even as you're playing mini-games
sees
and
this
tech
much
demos.
potential to do things that haven't been done on PC is
Some of the
interesting.
secrets range from the unique features of the system
Not
to
just a
tiny
mouse.
details you might not notice until they're pointed out. There are plenty. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour will launch as a paid digital game on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2.
This does
So
not
please
need
check
to
it
be a
out if you're
paid
interested.
game. That's the first nonsense I
Now,
will say. This
I'd like
should
to
be
share
just,
some more
you
information
should just have
regarding
this for buying
Nintendo
the
Switch
system.
2. This is the game card for Nintendo
You shouldn't have to
Switch 2
pay for
titles.
that. That should just be in the system.
It's the same shape as Nintendo Switch game cards, but it's now red and it has much faster data reading speeds. Next up is additional storage. Switch 2 will only work with micro SD express cards. They're a different type of SD card and will make high-speed data transfers possible.
I never heard of that SD card format before.
Please note that regular micro SD cards used for Nintendo Switch will not be compatible. Additionally, to transfer data from Switch to Switch 2,
I hope
you
that
can
includes
log into
save
your
data if
Nintendo
the
account
memory
to
cards,
use
the
system
SD cards aren't
transfer feature.
compatible.
With this feature, you can transfer save data,
Okay,
digital
cool.
games, and more. We're also releasing a new Pro controller. It has a C button, which launches Game Chat, and on the back, there are new GL and GR buttons, which you can use to assign existing button controls.
Oh, Nintendo.
In addition,
Jeez,
an audio
okay.
jack has been added. We've introduced a few new features, and after today's presentation, the official Nintendo Switch 2 website will go live. There will
Alright.
also be an Ask the Developer article on the website, where the three of us will talk about the development of Nintendo Switch 2. We hope you'll check that out as well.
And now, the
You
Nintendo
all
Switch
can
2
hang-
launch date.
Wait.
Nintendo Switch 2 launches on June 5th. We're very much looking forward to the
Okay.
day when you all get to experience it. so
very,
please
very
wait Just a
soon.
bit longer.
I doubt I'll be getting it at launch, but
Now,
I want to see some more games.
broadly
That might
speaking,
change my mind.
on Nintendo Switch 2, you
They
can
didn't
play
even like,
3
there wasn't even
types
any
of
build
games.
up.
The first type is
There wasn't
Nintendo
even any
Switch 2
build up
games.
or hype. Just like, oh yeah, like,
These games take advantage of the performance and features of Switch 2. The second type is compatible games that were released on Nintendo Switch. Nintendo
Okay.
Switch 2 edition
This'll
games
be
are the
interesting.
third type. Some games that were released on Switch will receive upgraded versions that offer things like improved visuals, unique ways to play on Switch 2, and more. Now, I'd like to show you the
Huh.
Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
I'm
of
glad I
Super
didn't
Mario
get
Party Jamboree.
Mario Party Jamboree on regular
Please take a
Switch.
look.
I mean, I still might not get it on Switch or Switch 2, but
Super Mario Party Jamboree is getting an upgrade on Nintendo Switch 2. The upgrade expands on the base game and adds new features, including mouse controls, audio recognition,
yeah, my setup, I
more
do not,
expressive rumble,
my
and
streaming
gameplay that
setup
uses
is
a
not,
camera
wouldn't,
accessory.
it's not ideal
all of
for
which can be
mouse
accessed
controls.
on Switch 2.
I'd have to get like a
Let's check out
higher
3
table
new
to my
and
right
updated
to
modes.
put the Joy-Con on.
First up is Mario Party mode.
Really?
With a single camera,
Mario
up
Party
to 4
mode.
players can join the festivities. You'll be able to see each other's faces as you play, so you can experience all the reactions and emotions
That's
in
cute.
real time. Or 4 friends can take the party online. Up next, it's Bowser Live, a mode where the livelier team wins. Bowser will bring you on stage to hit blocks to collect the most coins.
So you need,
Guide
so
an
this is
RC
like
car with your
Connect type
voice.
stuff. That's not just a
And
webcam,
other mini
then.
games using full body movement and sound. Finally, take a ride on the
Nintendo
mouse
finally
controlled Carnival coaster. With
ripped
the
off
safety bar
Connect.
lowered and secured, you're off.
Hey, it's the
Use mouse
speaker
controls
flowers
to shoot
from
down enemies while
Wonder.
you feel the bumps and rumbles of the coaster. When you enter a pipe, a mini game will begin. There's a bouldering game where 2 players each control an arm, and one where you shake a can of spray paint and quickly tag objects.
That's interesting.
Enjoy the thrill of these intuitive mini games. How quickly can you reach the station? From mini games that use a camera, the built-in microphone, mouse controls, and
It
rumble.
looks like a little
The biggest
puzzle
party
mini
yet
game
is
using
getting
mouse
even
controls.
bigger.
Okay.
Super Mario Party Jamboree, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, plus Jamboree TV launches on Nintendo Switch 2, July 24th.
Yeah, I mean, the title of my
Nintendo
stream
Switch 2 players
is
who
no
already
longer a
own
joke.
Super
Nintendo's
Mario
really
Party
stuck with
Jamboree can
this
upgrade to
plus
Nintendo
that
Switch 2
naming
Edition
convention.
plus Jamboree TV by purchasing an upgrade pack.
An upgrade pack. Now that's
Please look forward to a new Mario Party
relatively.
experience
That's
where
pretty
you can see
relatively
each other's
consumer
reactions while
friendly.
playing.
That you only pay for.
Let's continue.
If you already have the
presenting
base game,
some
you can
more
pay for the
Nintendo
upgrade.
Switch 2 Edition games.
All right, let's see if Breath of the Wild. Okay.
Nintendo Switch 2 editions of The Legend
Oh.
of Zelda Breath of the Wild
Both
and
games
The
are
Legend
getting
of
them.
Zelda Tears of the Kingdom feature enhanced resolution and frame rates, and also support HDR, which makes the image more vibrant, so you can play
I'm
with
more
smoother,
interested-
higher definition graphics.
I would be interested in playing Breath of the Wild again, potentially.
Plus, you can get even more out of your adventures in Hyrule using Zelda Notes. This new feature can be accessed via the Nintendo Switch app on smart devices.
Okay, yeah,
It's
that
a
thing.
game-specific service that's exclusive to the Switch 2 editions
Something
of
about-
these titles. For example, it can help guide you to various locations, like shrines and
Really,
dwarfs
they're
you haven't found yet.
really they're
Guidance
doing the
activated.
Wii U gamepad stuff from the
Proceed north.
Wii U version that was canceled now, pretty much.
Or you can share your creations using QR codes and send them to another player to create in their game.
And this is really interesting. Nintendo's doing Xbox Smart Glass stuff at this point. They've ripped off Kinect
These
and
features
Smart
will make your
Glass.
adventures even more enjoyable.
Wow. And I do mean that facetiously. Here's a
In
game I
Kirby
wouldn't mind
and
coming
Forgotten
back
Land,
to.
You'll be able to enjoy an additional story exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. along
Oh,
with improved
Elflin's ears
graphics
look
and frame
fluffier than
rates.
ever.
This story takes place in the Forgotten Land after being struck by a powerful meteor that's causing some mysterious changes. We hope you're looking forward to Kirby's new adventure.
Okay.
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond will have both a Nintendo Switch and a Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
Okay. This is pretty much expected, but not quite in this context, where it's a standardized thing.
In addition to standard controls, you can use mouse controls for intuitive gameplay on
Oh,
Switch 2.
that's interesting.
Plus, you can explore the immersive world in 4K at 60 frames per second, or enjoy smoother action in full HD at 120 frames per second. Choose from these two modes.
Just
both of
thinking
which
about
support
4K
HDR,
and
based on
Nintendo
your
in the same
preference
sentence
and
is kind of
playstyle.
surreal to me.
Plus, Pokemon Legends ZA, which is scheduled to launch later this year, will not only receive a Nintendo Switch version, but a Nintendo Switch 2 edition as well. By taking advantage of the power of Switch 2,
I still don't trust you,
can
Game
enjoy your
Freak.
adventure in
Sorry.
Lumio City with enhanced resolution and frame rates.
I still don't trust you. Enhanced frame rate, so it's actually going to run like it
The
should have
Nintendo
run on
Switch
Switch
2
to
edition
begin
games you
with.
just saw will be available as both physical
If
and
anyone who
digital
enjoys the
versions.
modern Pokemon games, I bless you and I envy
And
you, but
if you already own the Nintendo Switch version of a game, you can play the Nintendo Switch 2
Okay.
edition by purchasing an upgrade pack. We hope you're looking forward to these Nintendo Switch 2 edition games.
let's see some more Nintendo
Next,
Switch
I'd like to
2.
introduce a brand new game featuring mouse controls with the Joy-Con 2 controllers.
Alright, here we
Please take a
go.
look.
New IP even? New IP, perhaps? A rhythm game? Huh. This is interesting. Okay. I cannot wait to hear what wheelchair users will have to say about this. I know what some people are gonna have to say about this, and I can't. If they're miserable, I mean they are miserable. But if this makes them upset, I'll be happy about that. But I'm not gonna comment on this from a personal standpoint, but I'd be interested to just hear what wheelchair users have to say about this. And this is just like Splatoon, where the gameplay concept created the characters and not the other way around.
Joy-Con 2 controllers as mice to intuitively pull off various moves. We hope you're looking forward to a new twist on 3-on-3 matches.
I hope wheelchair users were involved in the development of this.
Here are some games from our publishing and development partners coming to Nintendo Switch 2.
Like, you know, just provide some kind of feedback or and the like.
I have long observed the lands between.
Alright.
This world is in dire need of repair.
Elden Ring and Nintendo. I haven't played Elden Ring, so.
The rays of grace that guide you through your path.
Like, these are the kinds of games that when equivalent games to this appeared earlier in the Switch's lifespan, people really questioned whether or not these could be successful on Nintendo, and it turned out to be the case, even if they were significantly inferior to the versions available on higher performance systems. So, that's interesting.
Hey, I'm Greg Kasavin from Super.
We're only halfway through
Here to say that
the
Hades
event
2
at this
is coming
point.
to Nintendo Switch 2. Our first ever sequel introduces the Princess of the Dead, an immortal witch out to vanquish the sinister Titan of Time. You'll battle beyond the underworld to the ends of the earth, getting to know dozens of characters from Greek myth in a story that reacts to your
Actual
every
Greek
setback
history.
and victory. It's the kind of game you can quickly pick up and play whether you're experienced with the original or not. Look for more about Hades 2 later this year.
皆さんこんにちは。カプコンの中山です。
Mega Man Legends
我々がお
3.
届けするタイトルはストリートファイター6です。本体を持ち寄っての対戦はもちろん、任天堂スイッチ2だけの新モードもあります。ソフトは
Yeah, and the thing is, unlike when you're going into like Wii U or 3DS, where we saw a lot of claims of developers, oh, we're going to support the system, and they really didn't. What we saw, Switch changed things. Now we could reasonably expect this to be consistent, strong support.
Initiating Arsenal boot sequence. Weapon safety mechanism confirmed.
Oh, this is
All
one heck of a
operating
mech
at normal
suit.
levels. Testing data link with spine. Normal. Commencing launch.
After 2 long wars where our freedom was restricted, we will finally be liberated from humans.
I'm in need of a new arsenal, new equipment, and money. I'm for sale, and you're buying.
Rebels!
So is that dialogue? So are you playing?
This planet will be ours. The sovereign axiom. The Trinitas.
So are we defending humanity, or are we attacking humanity?
No! Because
Oh, wait,
we're in the
wait.
middle of a war. Don't you get it?
I won't just stop you. I'll tear you apart! All children, bring hope to our lives.
Okay, so this is the Demon Ex Machina series.
Hey, this is Joseph Forrest from Hazelight. I'm super excited for Split Fiction to come to Nintendo Switch 2.
I never even heard of this
The
game.
game is a story about friendship. You play as Mio, who writes sci-fi, and Zoe, who writes fantasy. Together, they get trapped in their own stories, and it's up to you and a friend to help them break free. Now, let me tell you this, if you like It Takes Two, you're gonna love this one, trust me.
I don't know anything
Of course,
about It Takes
you'll be
Two,
able
but this
to
looks
play
interesting.
Split Fiction on the day Switch 2 launches.
At EA Sports,
EA,
we're
time for
bringing
another
fans together
unprecedented
across the world,
partnership.
both on the pitch and on the gridiron.
Time for some
We're excited to
Xbox
announce that
360
EA Sports
ports that they're
FC
going
will
to
be
dump on
coming
here
to
with no new
Nintendo
features,
Switch
and they'll
2.
complain that we didn't
Madden
buy them.
NFL will also be arriving on the Nintendo platform. EA Sports, it's in the game.
You know, you could just
Hi,
go to the
Alan Q from
supermarket and buy
Avalanche
lottery
Software.
tickets to the United States.
We are bringing Hogwarts Legacy to Nintendo Switch 2.
It wasn't on
enhanced graphics
Nintendo
and
Switch.
seamless
I
world
paid no
transitions.
attention to this game, so
You'll be immersed in the Wizarding World like never before. And the new
Yeah.
mouse controls on Switch 2 give you even more ways to experience the adventure.
yeah. Regardless of anything the creator
Discover the enhanced
itself
magic when Hogwarts Legacy
feels
launches on the
outside
same
of
day
the
as Switch 2.
the actual material, I started calling this Harry Potter and the franchise that shit itself even before then. So yeah, you're gonna. Where is it? I don't. If this is anything other than. Is this? Yeah, I'm not. The only skateboarding or skating franchises I know of are to the Tony Hawk games and Jet Set Radio, and this is on skateboards, not roller skates, and it's not cell shaded, so it's definitely not Jet Set Radio. So this is something else that's already been on the. Wow, I was gonna say. Okay, I was gonna say when they said a few moments later, I'm like, are they gonna get sued for using that SpongeBob like typeface thing? Because I think that's bespoke to
We're
SpongeBob,
bringing our flagship
but it's an
title,
actual licensed tie-in.
Hitman World of Assassination to Nintendo Switch 2. As the best assassin in the trade, Agent 47 does everything he can to accomplish his mission. And how each mission progresses will vary depending on the player's imagination.
The last one of these I played was on the
Our ever-expanding
GameCube.
game will
It's
release on
been
the
a
same
while.
day as Switch 2. Plus, we are excited to bring another familiar agent to the platform.
They've got the Bond license, right? Yeah, they're emphasizing that rifling inside the barrel. It's gotta be Bond. Bond confirmed. Also, I might have to mute this part for having that sting in it. Project 007.
James Bond. The world's favorite spy is coming to Nintendo Switch 2, so stay tuned.
Processed by IOI. Don't invest in them. They're going to take over Columbus with
story of
VR
light
chat
and
in like
shadow
about
that
20
never
years.
fades is reborn. Bravely Default returns, remastered in high definition.
Wow, Bravely Default remake. I didn't play this on
Bravely
3DS.
Default commands that help you control the flow of turn-based battles.
You know, this is like quintessential pure battle-focused JRPG from what I heard, and I like more of an emphasis on storyline.
With unique ways to play.
Mouse
Square
control
Enix
minigames,
presents
that's
the
cute.
classic fantasy RPG, Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster. Set foot in Luxembourg as a warrior of light once more.
セガ龍が如くスタジオ代表の横山です。
Yeah, notice that this whole presentation is pre-recorded, so you don't have a disaster like Suda51's going off script and confusing the interpreter.
2つの歓楽街を舞台に土地を巡る争奪戦が勃発。伝説の始まりを追加シーンとともにお楽しみください。発売日は Nintendo Switch 2の発売と同じ日です。
I never played any of these games. In fact, I heard that Final Fantasy VII Remake 1 is kind of similar to a
We'll have more
Yakuza game in
games to
some
show from our
aspects.
publishing and development partners. But for now,
I saw
we'd like to
Digidoggy
show
play
a
a
game being developed in
Yakuza
collaboration
game once,
with
though.
Nintendo. Please take a look.
Okay. AAA Game Studio. Huh.
When the Zonai, who descended from the heavens, joined hands with the Hylians, who dwelled on the surface, their union led to a great and prosperous kingdom. But in time, a terrible evil arose.
I'll respond to that in a moment, Bill.
A war was fought to vanquish this evil, one which future generations would call
Is this going to be like an Age of Calamity equivalent for Tears of the Kingdom?
imprisoning war.
Perhaps you truly have traveled back in time.
So that's Hyrule Castle? Then that must mean this really is the past.
Really? We're getting Zonai Warriors? Are they gonna do something to actually make... Are they gonna do something to make it seem like they actually cared about the storyline for this game? Hey, Minoru. Yeah, I didn't even finish this game. I like... yeah, this game disappointed me, but not for the reasons... For the same reasons it disappointed many others, but also for very different reasons than it disappointed others. Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment. Okay. Interesting. Coming this winter.
That was Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. It's being developed by Koei Tecmo Games, with support from Nintendo. We hope you're looking forward to the untold story of the Imprisoning War, which took place in Hyrule long ago.
The fact that they're just throwing...
And now, some news about Nintendo Switch Online.
Getting me upset over
You can
all
continue
the weird
to
decisions
enjoy
they made with
Nintendo
Tears of the
Switch
Kingdom.
Online on Switch 2.
I certainly
And
hope
with
so.
Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, you can enjoy a new membership benefit exclusively on Switch 2.
All right.
Please take a look at this.
It better not be Mother 3. Even though that would be pretty close. Okay, here we go. And so it begins.
Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack will be getting a new classic game library exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2.
This could sell me my
Nintendo
Switch 2,
GameCube,
actually.
Originally released in 2001. Here are the titles that will be available at launch.
Oh my gosh, original Wind
Looks
Waker.
like a cartoon come to life through cell shading. Controlling the wind using a mysterious baton,
This-
Link sets sail on an adventure across the Great Sea.
This could
The
sell...
Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker.
Being able to play the GameCube version of Wind Waker.
Souls and swords eternally
Because I'm not quite entirely sure if I'm sold on the Wind Waker HD
comes equipped with a different weapon.
look.
And Link from the Legend of Zelda series enters the fray. Soul Calibur 2.
F-Zero
Experience
GX.
a world of white knuckle racing at
Imagine
speeds
if
over 2,000
20
kilometers
plus
per
year
hour.
GameCube games from 20 to 25 years ago are what sell me a doggone Switch 2. And there better be a classic. I mean,
and story mode.
Nintendo's been making GameCube controllers like every generation, like for the last several console cycles. So I'm sure they'll have a classic controller.
Or online. Enjoy these classic games.
That's
with
all they're
clear
announcing
image
for now?
quality and higher resolution than the original releases. You can also check the controls for each title and customize them to your liking.
That's great. But come on.
More titles will be added in the future.
Pokemon XD, Luigi's Mansion, that's one I'd want to see.
Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Classics, the Switch 2 exclusive game library coming to Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack launches the same day as the hardware's release. And
yes,
dedicated
finally.
controller designed after the original GameCube controller will also be released.
All right.
It can connect wirelessly and also has a C button to quickly access game chat.
Yeah, I like how.
The Nintendo GameCube controller.
Yeah, I like how.
Exclusively
Oh, that's
for
basically the
Nintendo
tech
Switch
of the
Online
Wavebird
will
is
also be available
squeezable
the same
into
day
just
as
a regular
Nintendo Switch
GameCube
2.
controller, whereas the Wavebird was slightly bigger,
Whether
which
you're
is the wireless
familiar with the
controller on
games
GameCube.
or haven't played them before, we hope you're
Well,
looking
now we know why we
forward to
aren't
Nintendo
getting Wind
GameCube
Waker HD on
Nintendo
Switch
Classics.
anytime soon, probably.
Of course, you can continue to play select games from the systems shown here on Nintendo Switch 2. Okay, let's see some more games from our
All right.
publishing and development partners.
What is this? Deltarune? Really? They're announcing this through Nintendo, huh? I did not think that they would be announcing this through Nintendo. They've never announced... Toby Fox has never announced this through Nintendo before. No... Oh, the 3 and... I'm not looking. I'm not looking. I'm not looking. I'm not looking. Not looking. Not looking. Not looking. not looking. Alright. Switch 2 launch day? Is it coming on Switch 1 as well?
I'm Randy from Gearbox.
That is...
Borderlands 4,
I don't... This better become...
game
Toby Fox would not make this not be on Switch 1 as well. It doesn't seem his style. And now I have a deadline for... taking care of some things, because...
We're still in development, and
I have,
it's already the most ambitious
if Switch 2's launch day is the day it comes out on other platforms as well,
we'll be sharing a lot of the game
that'll be
and there's more
interesting.
2K on the way.
Yeah, so far, a game that looked like it could have come out 30 years ago, that also is gonna come out on every other system anyway, including systems I already have, is like the biggest news to me so far, which is kind of wild.
Civ 7 launches on the same day as Switch 2. And if you already own the Nintendo Switch version...
Azure's saying they're ready to trade real life for virtual life now. Switch 2, take me away. Well, there isn't they haven't announced virtual reality yet. That'll probably be on the Switch 3.
Hi, I'm Lionel Jinx.
And I'm Ben Bishop.
Our final announcement for today is that WWE 2K is coming to Nintendo Switch 2.
Plus NBA 2K as well.
We can't wait to see you in the ring.
Yeah, not interested. Glad for whoever is.
4 kids find this old tattered man. Off they went, armed with nothing but
Yay, sea
enthusiasm
serpent.
and a profound lack of preparation. Boom! Terrible at steering a raft. Let's slay some trees.
Alright.
Awesome! You nailed it! Hook, line, and sinker.
Why is it...
Tastes amazing, doesn't it? Really have started to master. That's everything. Let's set sail.
Why is it freezing? Oh my gosh.
Hi, I'm Dave Crooks from Dodge Roll.
Hold on. I gotta do this fast. Okay.
Here's the first look at Enter the Gungeon 2. Dodge countless bullets and aim for the Gungeon's depths in our roguelike shooter sequel. It's an aim for the Gungeon's depths in our roguelike shooter
Why is
sequel.
it frozen?
Now reloaded in a new 3D art style. You can expect
Okay,
some favorite
this is
elements to return.
happening.
We're still working on the game, and we're excited to share more with you in the future.
Okay, it's happening to everyone. Oh my gosh, Nintendo, the live reveal froze. Okay, looks like it's unfreezing. Okay. Okay. I thought that was me. No, that was Nintendo. Yeah, it's actually desynced. Yeah! Oh my gosh, it actually desynced. It actually desynced. I know this because I'm looking at chat right now.
Hello, my name is Adam Badowski from CD Projekt Red. We are delighted to bring the immersive world of the dark future to Nintendo players for the first time. Cyberpunk 2077 is an
I don't care about
action-adventure RPG set in Night City. Thanks to Nintendo Switch 2, you can transport yourself to the city of dreams at home or on the go.
I don't know if I should mute we're gonna have Nintendo. How did you screw this up? Yeah, and when it's live again, but like the audio's delayed by like a minute.
こんにちは、スクエアエニックスの浜口です。Nintendo
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Final Fantasy VII Remake インターグレードを発売いたします。
Remake Intergrade.
本作はミッドガル脱出までを描いた3部作シリーズの1作目となり、20年以上の時を経て再創作された新しい FF7 を体験。
Yeah, so we're having the reveal of
Switch 2で展開する FF7
Nintendo should have. I can't believe this. They should do it. They should have done what Pokemon Company was doing, where they have the pre-recorded video. they have the pre-recorded video, and then they just run the pre-recorded video, and it's just synchronized for everyone. That would have but I've never seen this problem happen with a Nintendo Direct before. This is the worst problem I've seen with a Nintendo Direct since 2013. We have about 10 minutes left. Yeah. So, a lot of these are games we already know. Oh, Puyo Puyo Tetris. A lot of these are games that, Now it's only 2 seconds off. It's like improved somehow. It's only 2 seconds away. Alright. I thought that was me. So a lot of these are just... So are these just Switch games, or are these like actual Switch 2 releases, such as it were? I mean, these are just... these are just by Arcade Archives 2. Okay. So like that. I don't know if that's coming out on Switch 1 as well. Like that the original Ridge Racer is going to be on Arcade Archives. Alright. Where's the mega time?
So far. The next game will be the last from our publishing and development partners.
So one game from publishing and development partners, and one big game from, if this is Beyond Good and Evil 2, I'll lose my mind, but... No, of course. I mean, I'm kidding with that, by the way. Resident Evil 9. Is that the number that they're up to at this point?
I give you
you missed
my blood.
You missed Open World Mario Kart, Nintendo actually having voice chat for the first time ever, pretty much proper voice chat. GameCube Virtual Console, or GameCube Classics, whatever they want to call it, on the Switch 2.
To humanity's very dusk.
Is this a new IP? If that's from some established IP on the high-performance systems, I won't recognize it. A Final Fantasy VII Remake confirmed for Switch 2. I won't... I mean... if my PC can handle Remake and Rebirth, good. Hey, train, nice. Nice to... I always love to see trains. But if it can handle Remake and Rebirth and stream well, I will probably play it on PC. But... And the system comes out in like the first week of June or something like that. So pretty soon. Yeah, now that I have a PC that could actually handle proper, like, higher performance games, even if it's on the lower settings. I'm not a big graphics snob, so... I am paying attention to this, I'm just not big into From games. And, like, so, Farron Boy, I'm in a situation where, even if for the rest of my life I could only play games on the original Nintendo Switch, is that's the newest system I could ever buy or play, I'd never run out of games for the rest of my life as it is. They really do have to prove to me that I want this Switch too.
Close your eyes and contemplate now the moon, as befits the soon to depart.
I pray that you are able, carrier of blood.
Yeah, if this is an established IP, I have no clue what it is. That's a pretty wild dinosaur design. Lots of steampunk Victoriana stuff.
The moon tears will flow for one, and one alone.
The Dusk Bloods. Okay. I think that's a new IP. I've never heard of that before. Well, the thing is, Farron Boy, you have the entire library of the of one of the most successful consoles to ever come to market.
What you just saw
With many games being at a reduced price at this point.
We'll be publishing a creator's voice article where the game's director, Hidetaka Miyazaki, will share more details about
creator's voice
Please
hosted
check it
by
out when it's
the
available.
official Nintendo website. So this might be
That's all from our publishing and development partners.
okay.
I'd like
Epic,
to thank
either
the
Epic
developers who
3D
appeared
Mario or a new
as well as our
Zelda
publishing and development partners who prepared footage for this presentation.
is what I expect to close this out.
In addition to what you saw today, our partners are working on many games coming to Nintendo
Or,
Switch 2.
or nothing, but
We'll showcase more games
I
in the
expect
future, and we hope
some
you're looking forward
big
to it.
thing, even if it's just it won't be a title drop like Metroid Prime 4
look at this.
back in 2017. Here we go. Here we go. I'm ready. Show me something amazing. Kirby? That looks like a Kirby-ish star with the rounded edges. Hey, it's Kirby. How do you top Forgotten Land? Just trying to activate a star like me trying to get the stream to work again. Open world Kirby? Nice. Okay, what's this gonna be like? Oh, a racing game? Kirby Air Ride. Okay, Air Riders. Okay. Definitely not what I would have expected to close it out. Masahiro Sakurai. Why would it be anyone else? 2025. Okay.
Kirby Air Ride, which originally released on the Nintendo GameCube system over 20 years ago, is getting a brand new game. We hope you're looking forward to Kirby Air Riders, directed by Masahiro Sakurai.
Alright, definitely an interest.
Next is our last trailer for today.
Okay,
Please
all
take
right.
a look.
I was gonna say that. No, I'm not upset, but that would be an interesting final choice. Some kind of crazy this new IP potentially. That weird thing we saw. That top secret public prototype thing Nintendo was messing with. Is this gonna be that in retail form? You know, finalized form. If you don't know, if like a few months ago, there was this bizarre like public test play prototype thing for some kind of... Oh, this is Donkey Kong. This was rumored for a long time. I really wasn't following it closely though. Return of 3D Donkey Kong. Wow, we're bringing back the pre-1994 Donkey Kong look. It looks like a free-roaming 3D Donkey Kong. Interesting. Well, I wanted some kind of first-party 3D platformer. We're getting it. Dude, if Mario makes an appearance in this game, if he has his 1980s like cabinet art look, where he's like super tall and thin, that would be bananas. I didn't even try to make that one. It just was natural. Nice throwback 2D side-scroller moment there. Yeah, this is... I'm not the biggest fan of, like, the Donkey Kong platformer games, but this is one of those moments that's, like, a totally new take on Donkey Kong, yet it's quintessential, unmistakable Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Bonanza. I wish they had spoiled this with... July, so very early in the Switch's Switch 2's lifespan.
Action game starring Donkey Kong, called Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Wow, we've gone past 1 hour.
Incredible strength, smash through enemies, walls, the ground, and just about everything as you demolish your way through a massive underground world. More details will be shared in the future. We hope you're looking forward to it.
Thank you for watching so far.
To recap, Nintendo Switch 2 launches on June 5th.
Wow. Yeah.
Finally, here are the hardware options that will be available at launch.
I have other
We'll release Nintendo
priorities.
Switch 2, as well as a bundle that includes a digital version of Mario Kart World.
Unless Deltarune is
For
going
more
to be
details,
like Switch
please
exclusive
check
for a
the
while.
official Nintendo
Switch 2
Switch 2
exclusive, which I
website,
doubt will
which
happen.
goes live later today.
We've covered a lot of information, but that's all we have to share for today.
You'll have to wait just a bit longer for launch.
Okay.
We are very much looking forward to everyone being able to experience Nintendo Switch 2.
We appreciate you joining us today. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, so that's my cue. What I'm gonna do, actually, I'm gonna wait till it goes. Well, that felt good. Okay. So, I'm gonna let's recap what we saw. Okay, so okay, so Farron Boy, here's what you missed earlier. This is the new Mario Kart game. And now they showed like a few seconds of footage of this where they showed the new design for Donkey Kong. And that they're like, oh, they're going back to the pre-1994 Donkey Kong look, like the classic like Donkey Kong look from pre-Donkey Kong Country. The characters seem to have a bit of a slight Super Nintendo-ish look to them. And you're heading off to school? Alright, I'll see you around, Farron Boy. Tell America's favorite human I said hi. Yeah, so Mario Kart, like, yeah, this looks cool, but I've got so many games to play as it is. So I'll recap for everyone else watching, and you have a good class session wherever you're heading. So Switch to Mario Kart World is probably the most intriguing Switch 2 exclusive. The game chat features, frankly, with my gameplay style and lifestyle, I won't be using much. Those new game chat webcam stuff. This is cute, but I'm not likely to pay for this. Jake GC, hey there, welcome back. And this is my second stream all year. I only started streaming again yesterday. Yeah, it's great to see a 3D reinterpretation of the pre-Donkey Kong Country DK design.
And will make high-speed data.
So, I don't know.
Nintendo Switch 2 editions of
it's fascinating that between the Switch webcam and the Breath of the Wild Switch 2's Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition's like Zelda notes thing, that Nintendo's basically stolen I say stolen in like the silly affectionate manner. They've stolen Kinect and Smart Glass from Xbox.
Using Zelda Notes.
And like these Zelda Notes things, a lot of this seemed like features that originally were intended for not in broad strokes. This seems like features that were intended for the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild before they made it a Nintendo Switch and Wii U cross-release and removed all of the gamepad functionality from the Wii U version.
You can share your creations using QR codes and send them to another player to create.
Yeah, it's good. I'm not upset at them for doing it. It's just really interesting that after all this time, Nintendo's actually going back to these Wii U-ish dual screen experience. Because if you have like a relatively small screen tablet, at that point you're basically getting a Wii U type experience. Now this game, I want to know, I really hope that they have consulted or worked with wheelchair using athletes in the development of this game. Because the thing is, Nintendo has a way, Dragon Drive they called it, Nintendo has a way about them where they start with the gameplay concept and then develop the characters based on the gameplay concept. They don't really create characters and then make up gameplay to go with the characters. So in the course, I really do feel like in the course of saying, okay, how can we make something dynamic and exciting with using dual mice in your left and right hands, came up with the idea of controlling wheels and having wheelchair using athletes. Yeah, like ARMS. ARMS is another fantastic example, Jake GC. Where the ARMS, it's very clear that they had the gameplay concept first and they developed the characters around them. So the fact that I really would be shocked if it was not a matter of the gameplay concept leading to the design of the characters and that coincidentally resulting in that being a representation of disability in this athletic context. So I really would love to hear what wheelchair users, especially wheelchair-using athletes, would have to say about this, and if they've been involved or consulted in any way in the development of this project. So we've got Elden Ring coming out. I'm not into these gritty fantasy action games, but I'm glad that the variety, not even necessarily for Nintendo fans, but for people who would be interested in games like Elden Ring, but but they are more on the go now, but they're people, I'm sure, who are more traditional gamers, who would otherwise like a higher performance system, but they're on the go, they're more aligned to different, more ambitious mobile gaming options, to things like Nintendo Switch, even though it's a very low performance system, and things like the Steam Deck. And so the expansion of the available games to those type of players. Now, when I got my Nintendo Switch, I'll mute it. When I got my Nintendo Switch, I didn't even have an HD television. I got Switch on launch day. I didn't have an HD television to plug it into until very late that year, when I owned my first HD television. And since I started streaming, I've played Nintendo Switch 100% docked as part of my streaming setup. So, and I know there are going to be some clowns complaining, oh, Nintendo's woke, how dare they have disabled people in a video game? And it's like, yeah, fuck you. And so Split Fiction, I never heard of this game before. There's so many games that look interesting that it's like, I don't have the time to play it. My gameplay choices are, well, first off, most of my game, aside from my my Panic Playdate handheld, which I do own now, aside from that, my gameplay really revolves around what I think would be an interesting show for my streaming. And the games I'd like to share the history of or talk about different games I like to do the historical magazine coverage of. So it's going to be a lot of retro stuff. Anything else? So Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment. I'm total pass on that. I was very disappointed by Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Now, a lot of people were upset just because it's set in the same world as Breath of the Wild, but with changes made and new stuff added. That's not. I think people don't like that, but they don't dislike it for the reason I think they do. Because Pokemon Black and White 2 went to the same region of Unova set a few years after the first Pokemon Black and White, which was also set in the Unova region, and no one complained that it was set in the same world. People were perfectly satisfied with that. They were satisfied with the way the world had changed since then. You did not see the widespread complaints. And if you think of it from an in-universe perspective, in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, you're playing as Link, who is exploring the 100 years after his world has become a failed state, his Kingdom of Hyrule. And he's trying to restore things and make things right after his fall a century earlier. And Tears of the Kingdom, the player's upset because, I already know these areas, but from an in-universe perspective, this is just Link exploring the world he already knows, but with the way that a lot of the story progresses, the way characters interact with them, as though they've never met Link before, a lot of things just felt really disrespectful to anyone who was to people who paid the slightest amount of attention to the first game. And a lot of the details of the storyline really, I think, disrespected people who were familiar with the existing lore. And it's like, I very quickly felt alienated by the game world, and I was like, let me look into the spoilers for this. And if I had actually played through Tears of the Kingdom to experience those things, I would have been more dissatisfied than I was just having them spoiled for me, because what you worked for was not that satisfying. Now, a lot of the concepts were fascinating, but can you please give me... I love Ocarina of Time. I love timeline theorizing. But stop giving me these closed loop, open loop, converging timelines, parallel universes, converging timelines and time causal loops within a single title, things invalidating and drawing into question decades of Zelda lore from our world, and then contradicting long-established fictional lore within the fictional universe of The Legend of Zelda. So it's like, okay, whatever. GameCube Classics on Nintendo Switch Online. Or they're calling it Nintendo Classics, it seems now, because they'd say, Super NES on Nintendo Switch Online and the like. Now it just says Nintendo Classics. But these GameCube games... Yeah, Pokemon Puzzle League. A puzzle when Nintendo was doing their retro games, it was bizarre to me that they did Pokemon. They did Dr. Mario reworked for mobile and not Puzzle League, because Dr. Mario they had to rework to have it be suitable for touchscreen only controls, whereas Puzzle League was a puzzle game Nintendo owns the rights to, that is already adapted for all puzzle controls thanks to the Nintendo DS Planet Puzzle League, and they could have did just like a Nintendo Puzzle League, have it be a crossover between all different Nintendo franchises in the Puzzle League setting, kind of like what they did with Tetris DS. But yes, the GameCube on Nintendo Switch Online. Now, I'm interested to see whether or not Deltarune is going to have if it's going to be exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2 for a period, because my Deltarune save file, Deltarune, and we basically got, at the very least, a release date for the Switch 2 version of Deltarune's Chapter 3 and 4. I want to replay through Deltarune before Chapters 3 and 4 come out, so it might be the case that as soon as it might be a mad rush to finish Pokemon Red, which I'll be streaming on... I'll be going back to my regular schedule on Saturday streams at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays. I'll be playing through Pokemon Red. Every other Wednesday, perhaps, I might play some Pokemon Red and maybe do a little watch party, watch along of something else. But unless Deltarune is Switch 2 exclusive for a period, it's unlikely that I'll be getting Switch 2 at launch. If Deltarune is not Switch 2 exclusive, I won't be getting Switch 2 at launch. I'll wait till more games come out. It'll be great. Oh yeah, with a puzzly game with the mouse. Now, as Azurest is saying, and Azurest, I know you're pretty big into puzzle games. So, yeah, so we're stopping right here. We're stopping right here. So this is the reveal for, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's Toby Fox inside the annoying dog costume there. Toby Fox is a bit of a man of mystery. Very few photographs or videos of him have been released to the public. He has a bit of a mystery man persona, as it were. If you get my drift. Yeah, if Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 is Switch 2 exclusive for a period, then I will get Switch 2 at launch. Aside from that, I will play it on the original Switch. So, yeah. And I'd love to know, like, I know the Mecha Kong, he shows up occasionally. He's been pretty busy lately, but I can't wait to find out. I'll actually hit him up on Discord. I want to ask him what he would think of what he thinks of the Donkey Kong reboot, the first real 3D interpretation of the pre-1994 Donkey Kong design. So the first with 2004 or 2024 being the 30-year anniversary of Donkey Kong's redesign for his modern look, for 31 years later to have a return to the pre-Donkey Kong Country look for DK is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see his take on that. And aside from that, yeah, very impressive. I'm going to let everyone else do the ground lifting on this. Oh, Jake GC's playing. They're playing the week currently. Been going through the trash pile area of games. Lots of stranger and casual titles. I have a lot of digital trash games on my Wii U that I have not played yet. Yeah. So with Nintendo Switch, there was a very real sense that if Switch failed, it could be the end of Nintendo as we know it. As for that urgency is not there with Switch 2. I think Switch 2's success is pretty much affirmed. I'm not happy with the way Nintendo's conducting themselves in terms of the lawsuit with Pocket Pair over Pal World. I'm not a fan of Pal World. I will never play Pal World. And I will say explicitly, along with many fans of Pal World, Pocket Pair was explicitly, deliberately trying to play with fire, ripping off the Pokemon designs as close as they could legally, theoretically get away with and still call it just mere parody or inspiration. But the fact that Nintendo's conducting this as a patent lawsuit and not a trademark or copyright lawsuit sets a really scary precedent. And the fact that the patents Nintendo's suing over, Pal World over, were filed after the fact of Pal World's success, specifically so that Nintendo could sue them. It would be like if Sonic the Hedgehog came out and then back in 91 and then Nintendo filed a bunch of patents over the concept of a 2D platformer that they had never filed before because they were upset that Sonic was successful, even though for years people have been making similar games to Super Mario Brothers. So it's like, yeah, I don't even think Pal World are... If it was a copyright or trademark lawsuit, I'd say Pal World, you played with fire. I hope the nature of the ruling isn't too overarching in terms of other people being able to do creature taming games. But yeah, you're not the good guys in this in terms of how close you flirted with ripping off explicitly Pokemon designs. But because it's a patent lawsuit, I'm like, hey, I hope Nintendo falls flat on their ass for this lawsuit, for the patent lawsuit. If it was a trademark copyright lawsuit, I'd say may the judge and the jury, make a fair ruling, but for this patent lawsuit, Nintendo's full of shit. I don't plan to ever be hired by Nintendo at this point, by the way. But that's the least of my concerns right now. I'm working on a book right now, in addition to my other revenue-earning endeavors. I'm also working on Barrier Aggression, my my autism and disability related video series. I just dropped the link to the playlist. The next video is looking in line to drop on Friday, this coming Friday. So that'll be exciting. And on Saturday, I might as well go to my end screen at this point. So on Saturday at 5 p.m., I'll be back to Pokemon Red with a little Pokemon pinball. And by the way, Jake GC, I will always curse out racists and bigots, but I generally try to keep my my hard PG-13 rated language on this stream for my own conduct. But I will be cussing up a huge storm on those videos. They'll be discussing difficult topics such as you know, lethal mental health crises, bigotry, discrimination, abuse related to disability. So, and I'll also be having the nature of the discussion will require me to use a lot of obsolete or outmoded or suboptimal phrasing in terms of like historical conceptions of disability and old historical disability diagnosis manuals. So, alright, that'll do it. Thanks for joining me. My first ever console reveal on a Nintendo system. First ever console reveal I ever covered on my my live streaming show, which is interesting. After all these years, coming up on my 5th anniversary, you know, I'm gonna send you all into. I'm gonna do a raid. I normally don't get to do a raid. I'm gonna send you all over to Ash Said Hi. I don't know if her stream's just ending. And oh, she hasn't seen it yet, so don't spoil anyone. Everyone with the chat, everyone who goes to her chat, just say no spoilers. So I'll see you all in a few minutes. Yeah, your raid message is going to be no spoilers. I'll see you all on Saturday.
Welcome in, Raiders. Hello. Hi, Super Train Station H. I have not... Hold on. Let me pause. I have not watched the Nintendo Direct yet. I only saw a little bit. I was at the dentist. My face is still numb. I don't know anything about the ending of this Direct or anything like that. So I'm watching it for the first time. However, I will say that the dentist did put the YouTube channel on the TV for me, so I saw a little bit, a little tiny bit of it. They were so nice. They were like, yeah, we'll put the YouTube video on. I couldn't believe it, so I did see